This audiobook contains 12 chapters and a preface. You are now listening to the 6th chapter of Hagakure, the Book of the Samurai. Click in the top right-hand corner for the full audiobook. Chapter 6. When Lord Takanobu was at the Battle of Bungo, a messenger came from the enemy camp bearing sake and food. Takanobu wanted to partake of this quickly, but the man at his side stopped him, saying, "Presents from the enemy are likely to be poisoned. This is not something that a general should eat." Takanobu heard them out and then said, "Even if it is poisoned, how much of an effect would that have on things? Call the messenger here." He then broke open the barrel right in front of the messenger, drank 3 large cups of sake, offered the messenger one too, gave him a reply, and sent him back to his camp. Takagi Akifusa turned against the Ryozoji clan, appealed to Mida Iyo no Kami Ayasada, and was sheltered by him. Akifusa was a warrior of matchless valor and was an accomplished and agile swordsman. His retainers were Ingazaman and Fudazaman, stalwarts in no way inferior, and they left Akifusa's side neither day nor night. Thus it happened that a request was sent from Lord Takanobu to Ayasada to kill Akifusa. At one point, when Akifusa was seated on the veranda having Ingazaman wash his feet, Ayasada came running up behind him and struck off his head. Before his head fell, Akifusa drew out his short sword and turned to strike, but cut off Ingazaman's head. The two heads fell into the wash basin together. Akifusa's head then rose into the midst of those present. This was the sort of magic technique that he consistently had. The priest Tannen used to say in his daily talks that a monk cannot fulfill the Buddhist way if he does not manifest compassion without and persistently store up courage within. And if a warrior does not manifest courage on the outside and hold enough compassion within his heart to burst his chest, he cannot become a retainer. Therefore, the monk pursues courage with the warrior as his model, and the warrior pursues the compassion of the monk. I traveled about for many years and met men of wisdom, but never found the means to the pursuit of knowledge. Therefore, whenever I heard of a man of courage in one place or another, I would go and look for him regardless of the hardships on the way. I have learned clearly that these stories of the way of the samurai have been innate on the road to Buddhism. Now a warrior with his armor will rush into the enemy camp, making that armor his strength. Do you suppose that a monk with a single rosary can dash into the midst of spears and long swords, armed with only meekness and compassion? If he does not have great courage, he will do no dashing at all. As proof of this, the priest offering the incense at a great Buddhist memorial service may tremble, and this is because he has no courage. Things like kicking a man back from the dead or pulling all living creatures out of hell are all matters of courage. Nevertheless, monks of recent times all entertain false ideas and desire to become laudably gentle. There are none who complete the way. Furthermore, among warriors there are some cowards who advance Buddhism. These are regrettable matters. It is a great mistake for a young samurai to learn about Buddhism. The reason is that he will see things in 2 ways. A person who does not set himself in just one direction will be of no value at all. It is fine for retired old men to learn about Buddhism as a diversion, but if a warrior makes loyalty and filial piety one load and courage and compassion another, and carries these 24 hours a day until his shoulders wear out, he will be a samurai. In one's morning and evening worship, and as one goes about his day, he had best recite the name of his master. It is not a bit different from the Buddha's names and holy words. Furthermore, one should be in harmony with his family gods. These are matters of the strength of one's fate. Compassion is like a mother who nurtures one's fate. Examples of the ruin of merciless warriors who were brave alone are conspicuous in both past and present. There was a certain point in the conversation when a retainer of Lord Nabeshima Nahiro said, "There are no men here upon whom the master can truly rely. Although I am consistently useless, I am the only one who would throw away his life for you." It is said that Lord Nahiro got outrageously angry, saying, "Among our retainers there is not a one who holds his life in regret. You are talking arrogance." And he was at the point of striking him when the man was pulled away by others who were there. Once when Master Tanisada, the founder of the China family, was coming by sea to the island of Shikoku, a strong wind began blowing, and the boat was damaged. The boat was saved from sinking by abalone gathering together and covering over the damaged sections. From that time on, none of the China family nor any of its retainers ate abalone. If one of them mistakenly ate one, it is said that his body was covered with boils in the shape of abalone. At the fall of the castle at Arima, on the 28th day in the vicinity of the Inmist citadel, Mitsu's gender sat down on a levee between the fields. When Nakano Shintohi passed by and asked the reason for this, Mitsus replied, "I have abdominal pains and can't go a step farther. I have sent the members of my group ahead, so please take command." This situation was reported by the overseer, pronounced to be a case of cowardice, and Mitsus was ordered to commit seppuku. Long ago, abdominal pains were called cowardice grass. This is because they come suddenly and render a person immobile. At the time of Lord Nabeshima Nahiro's death, Lord Mitsushige forbade Nahiro's retainers the practice of tsufuku. His messenger went to Nahiro's mansion and made the declaration, but those who received this news could in no way agree to it. From their midst Ishimaru Anim, later called Seizaman, spoke from the lowest seat, "It is improper for me as a younger person to speak out, but I think that what Lord Katsushige has said is reasonable. As a person who received the master's care when I was young, I had wholeheartedly decided on tsufuku. But hearing Lord Katsushige's dictum and being convinced of his reasoning, no matter what the others may do, I am giving up the idea of tsufuku and will serve the master's successor." Hearing this, the others all followed suit. Once Lord Masaya was playing shogi with Lord Hideyoshi and there were a number of daimyo watching. When it came time to withdraw, although Lord Masaya could stand, his feet were numb and he could not walk. He made his withdrawal crawling away, causing everyone to laugh. Because Lord Masaya was big and obese, he was not ordinarily able to be on his knees. After this event he thought it would not be fitting to be in attendance anymore and began refusing such duties. Nakano Uemonasuke Tadaki was killed on the 12th day of the 8th month in the 6th year of Oroku, at the time of the fight between Master Godo and Master Hirai of Suko, on the island of Kabushima in the Kashima district. When Uemonasuke was leaving for the front lines, he embraced his son Shikibu, later called Jinnaman, in the garden, and, although Shikibu was very young, said, "When you grow up, win honor in the way of the samurai." Even when the children in his family were very young, Yamamoto Jinnaman would draw near to them and say, "Grow up to be a great stalwart and be of good use to your master." He said, "It is good to breathe these things into their ears, even when they are too young to understand." When Ogawa Toshikiyo's legitimate son Sahei Kyoji died as a youth, there was one young retainer who galloped up to the temple and committed seppuku. When Taku Nagato no Kami Yasai passed away, Koli Adaman said that he had been unable to repay the master's kindness and committed seppuku.